My name is Brandi. I'm a beekeeper from Los Banos, California, and I've been keeping bees in Central California for about the last 40 years or so. And I produce honey with my bees and also pollinate a variety of crops. Honeybees collect nectar from flowers by extending their tongue into the flower and sucking up the nectar. Their tongue is actually in 3 parts, and the 3 parts come together to form a tube like a drinking straw. And there is like a pump in the bee's head that forms a vacuum and sucks the nectar right up, and the nectar is then held in the bee's honey sac. It's not the bee's digestive stomach, it's in a separate compartment that the bees store the nectar in for the flight back to the hive. Honeybees produce honey so that they can have something to eat, and they produce it in quantities that are in excess of what they can actually use from time to time. We will harvest honey from our bees during times of surplus, but always leaving them enough for their own use. There are over 300 different varieties of honey that are produced in the United States, and these vary from water white, like the sage and the orange blossom and other light-colored honeys, to very dark honeys like buckwheat that is almost black. The colors and the flavors and the aromas of these honeys vary considerably. About 1/3 of our diet is derived from foods that are pollinated by insects, and honeybees provide about 80% of that pollination work. Actually, in the U.S., there are over $15 billion worth of crops that are benefited by the pollinating activity of honeybees alone. And many crops, such as the almonds here in California, are totally dependent upon bees. And we've got cucumbers, melons, cherries, apples, zucchini, a myriad of crops that would not be commercially produced without the aid of the honeybee.
My name is Jill Clark. I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Dutch Gold Honey, which is a family-owned business in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I actually got involved in the honey industry back when I was a child because my dad was a beekeeper. So bees and honey have just been part of my life. We've been in business since 1946, and we are still family-owned and operated today after 66 years in business. There has been some confusion about honey and pollen. Remember, honey is the nectar from blossoms and flowers that goes into the beehive, and the bees make honey from it. Pollen is not involved in the process that makes honey. The filtration process that we use is a tried and true method that's been used in the industry for over 50 years. It's a very simple process using paper filters that removes the foreign material. When we filter the honey, first we need to warm the honey up so that we can move it through our filter press. And our filter press looks like a large accordion with many paper filters along the way. And the honey goes through the paper filters, and this removes the foreign material or the pollen and any residue from the beehive, so that by the time we're through the filter papers, we have a very nice, clear product that is ready for bottling. Well, the first thing a consumer should do to ensure they're buying pure honey is pick the product up and read the label. Pure honey would only have one ingredient, and that is honey. And when you pick up that honey jar and you take a look at the ingredient statements, you're either going to find there are no ingredient statements because it is pure honey, or if there's an ingredient statement, it should only have one word there, and that is honey.
Honey is especially delicious and very versatile. It's used in breads and baked goods, to finishing sandwiches and vinaigrettes and sauces, to sweetening your tea. It's got an amazing range of uses. Honey is also antimicrobial, which really helps to extend the shelf life of certain baked goods. So for instance, muffins, it really is going to help prolong and retain moisture and allow it to extend its life. It's also a great emulsifier because of the stability aspect. It really helps to bind things together cohesively and bring certain ingredients together, like oils in salad dressings and pan sauces. So it not only adds a sweetness, but it really brings everything together. With the demand for gluten-free products, honey is a perfect way to balance and to mask the bitterness of those gluten-free flours. With honey being produced all over the country, the great, easy, quick way to find honeys in your area is to go to honeylocator.com and type in your zip code, be able to find what's close to you in your region.
As a general pediatrician, I see kids with colds all the time in my practice. The current treatments weren't any good for their treatment and had side effects. So I thought about what else could we use to treat it, and honey was an attractive alternative. I was looking to find an alternative that would be just as good as the over-the-counter dextromethorphan. I was surprised when we looked at the study results that the honey did the best in the comparison of the honey, the dextromethorphan, and the no treatment. So I was really happy to be able to provide an alternative for my patients and children around the country. Honey comes from nature, and it could contain botulism spores. Botulism, it comes from a bacteria that the infant intestinal tract isn't mature enough to handle. Once a child is 1 year of age or older, if the honey did contain some botulism spores, it wouldn't cause any problems. For young children, ages 1 year to 5 years, I usually recommend a child take 2 or 3 milliliters every couple hours. 2 or 3 milliliters is about half a teaspoon. For children ages 6 to 11, they can take 5 milliliters, which is equivalent to about 1 teaspoon, again every couple hours. And for children and adolescents 12 years and up, or adults, they could take 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters, really every couple hours as needed. Honey's not just a food, it can also be used for cough and cold symptoms for you and your children.